Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining today's Spotlight interview series and for watching. My name is Brian Weaver. I'm the Vice President of Business Development with ClaimTek Systems. And today we're going to be talking to Robert Buttrey. He is the owner and CEO of MedBillingRX, your practice prescription for improved profitability. Thanks so much for joining us today, Rob.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Hey, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be working with an individual like yourself. You know, I think you've done a great job so far in the beginning stages of getting your business up and running, finding your first 2 clients, and seeing what's available for you here in the future. So to kind of dive right in, what did you previously do and what had you looking to start a business for yourself?
Sure. Well, my wife and I were ordained ministers with the international nonprofit for almost 20 years. And due to some family issues, we felt God calling us away from full-time ministry to take care of some family matters. And we knew that we were too old not old enough to retire. And so rather than putting our effort into somebody else's business, we made the joint decision to put all of our effort into building our own business.
Hey, yeah, excellent. In this day and age, the best thing for individuals' financial future is to control it. And the best way to do that is through business ownership. Working for yourself. If you're going to work hard, you might as well work for yourself over working for somebody else and making them rich, right?
That's right.
So what had you choose ClaimTek, over all the other businesses that, you could have chosen? What had you land on ClaimTek and medical billing?
Well, we looked at a lot of different business models, and one of the things that drew us to ClaimTek was, one, all the great testimonials that we watched. We watched a lot of testimonials for a lot of different companies. The other thing that drew us to ClaimTek was it seemed like ClaimTek really was interested in helping a practice. They weren't interested in so much charging for every little single aspect of what the doctor might need, but really they wanted to help the practice grow and succeed. And so those were a couple of things that really drew us to ClaimTek. And medical billing, from my wife's perspective, it's been something that she's always wanted to do. Her mom used to do medical billing and coding when my wife was younger, and my wife always wanted to do that even as a kid. And as she grew up, she earned her place in our family as the in-house doctor. So my wife is really interested in healthcare and different aspects of healthcare. And so from my end, I really looked at it from a point of scalability and profitability, because I did not want to spend a decade trying to build a profitable business. Right. So those are 2 things that we looked at when we decided to go with ClaimTek.
Fantastic. Yeah, ClaimTek is definitely a business that is scalable. It's the business is in the eye of the beholder. You can keep it small, home base. You can grow it big, and really expand it nationally if you choose to do so. So definitely scalability, and then profitability. You can make great money in this business when you're doing a great job for doctors, and when you are doing a great job, you can see that lead pretty quickly to new accounts once you start showing them some financials and what you've done to help them increase the profitability of their business. So that's fantastic. But you mentioned you had no experience in medical billing. There was just an interest that your wife had, but you've never done it before. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Very good. So, I know that you have, 2 clients. How do you feel is getting into some of that billing so far? Do you feel like you've had the support to be able to do the billing, even though this is brand new for you?
Yes, and the training was a great footing for us. No training can provide you with everything that you need, and so I don't want people to think that, well, once I go through the training, I'll know all the ins and outs. There's several times where I'm on the phone or send ClaimTek an email because I need help. And there's different articles that I read, and there's different things that I do on my own to build on top of that training that I've received. And the support's been fantastic. Sometimes I feel I like, oh man, I'm calling again. They're probably getting tired of me. But each time I'm reassured that no, that's what they're there for. They're there to be a support to me, and they have been. It's been fantastic.
Excellent. Yeah, it's great to hear that. You know, we pride ourselves in really wanting to help people succeed and being there for them at each stage of their business. Because, like you said, you know, you can't learn everything about an industry, you know, in an initial training. But as long as you have the support system that is going to follow you throughout your progress, you know, as a biller and as a business owner, to kind of help you at each stage with certain individual tasks or experiences that you undergo, as long as you have that personal consultative support where you can talk to people about a specific scenario, because each scenario might be different. I think that's where the real power comes in our support. So you found that in, you know, kind of getting started and looking at growing your business to be able to give us a ring and let us know, hey, whether it's something small in billing or whether it's, you know, in marketing and, you know, wanting some insights before a meeting or, you know, maybe consulting after a meeting, you feel like the support's been there for you?
Oh, I do, definitely. And that's one of the things that really came through in the testimonials that we watched in our research into ClaimTek. The support was really high on everybody's list.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that we also wanted to, you know, kind of create this spotlight interview series to get people to a chance to know more about the business owner than just maybe a 30 second to, you know, 90-second video testimonials, to really hear from you almost as a telephone testimonial, kind of just telling us about, you know, your experience and what you did to get the business growing. So, you know, in your, you know, look back now, being in the business with us for since the beginning of February. But yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about, you know, your startup process? Because I know that you didn't dive in, you know, with both feet right from the beginning. You kind of took your time through it. So why don't you tell them a little bit about your experience in getting started and how that was flexible for you to kind of go at your own pace and then, you know, dive in with 2 feet when you were ready?
Sure. You know, my wife and I were still with the international nonprofit, and we were going to be with them until the end of May, and we were transitioning to Florida. And so we didn't want to, you know, we signed on in February, but we didn't want to jump into the training right away because we had so many other things on our plate. And we really wanted to be able to focus 100% on the training. Because we wanted to get done with the training and go full board into marketing our business and trying to get those clients on board with us and begin billing. We did not want to sit around too long after training, and we didn't. But once we moved to Florida, we were able to get started in training, and it was great. We went through a training process and got done in mid-August. And then we were out visiting people and dropping off our card and making phone calls and sending out mailers and so doing a lot of different things to try and just introduce ourselves and get people to understand what we could do for them, what we could provide for their practice. And since August, the middle of August, we've secured 2 clients, and we're working on a handful of others. I just stopped by a client that I didn't get. She went with someone else, and I kept in touch, and I went back to her. I brought her a plant. I stopped by Aldi's, and I got a $5 plant, and I went by her office, and we sat and we talked. And during that conversation, she said, you know what? I've got a practice I'm starting, and I also have a behavioral health practice I'm starting. And when I get those up and going, I'm going to call you. And so that plant and that time I took, that's going to turn into a couple of accounts for us down the road. And so those are some of the things that we've been doing. And that's how we got started with ClaimTek, was really when we moved to Florida. But it was a great process, and everybody was patient. You guys didn't rush us into getting started right away, which I appreciated. That was, I know we talked about that before we even purchased a practice, because it was important, or purchased the program. It was important for us to be able to focus on our current positions until we were completely done.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, that's a great story. I'm sure a lot of people appreciated hearing that tidbit. And that's really what, business development is all about. Like you said, it's getting the name out there. It's really, creating awareness, even if you own a pizza shop, nobody's going to order a pie if they don't know you're open for business, right? So you got to get that name out there, and you got to do it in a few different ways. But how do you feel ClaimTek's marketing plan, kind of laid things out for you for what you needed to do to create that awareness and that brand and visibility for your business? In a short period of time, it was. It was only about 5 or 6 weeks, wasn't it, when you started marketing to get your first client? Or maybe it was 3. I don't recall exactly.
Yeah, it was about 4, somewhere in there, for our first client.
Excellent.
And the marketing aspect has been great. It gives you a lot. Again, it gives you a lot of good tools and resources and a place to start, especially if you're not familiar with marketing or where to begin. ClaimTek has done a great job with that, especially with the leads that you provide, at least with a package that we purchased. The leads that are provided have been great, and then with the information on how to get our own leads, that's been great. And so it gives us a lot of good tools to build off of. And one of the key things I know that you repeat a lot is follow up, follow up, follow up, and that is really. That's really true. And one of the things that we struggled with is, and sometimes I still do, but is that time where it's slow and you're not getting any leads and you're not getting bites. And then I got to remind myself, what? I need to keep following up. I need to keep touching base with people. And so I continually do that. Even with people that said, no, we're not interested, or no, we have a biller. There's different things I might be able to offer in the future. And at some point, they might decide that they want to change billers, and I want to be the one that they go to. And so I continually follow up, even in those on those dead leads. I remember the first doctor that I sent a contract to. Again, he went to somebody else, but I still email him. I still keep in touch with them. I still follow up with them. I say, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hope everything's going great. And so follow up. And eventually you follow up enough and you're going to secure some clients.
You got that right. And, you made a great point there, in following up with people, because they're going to think of you when somebody else that might be talking to them might say, oh, I'm in the need of a biller, or I'm looking to, maybe change my systems or outsource. That doctor that you've been following up with, even though they didn't go with you, most likely is going to think about you when that other individual mentions something. And that could be a referral that you received down the road because you did follow up and you stayed engaged with them. And, I always like what when you say, I'll follow up with them until they tell me to get lost, because you're really just, again, doing what we focus on doing is looking out for the practice. How can we help? Can we solve your problems? And when you do have problems, you might not have any now, but when you do, think of us, because we're here to help you, so I always like that attitude that you have about that. So if you had to pick one thing, what would you say would probably be, your biggest challenge in starting this business and kind of getting it going with your first, 2 clients now? What's your biggest challenge that you faced?
I think the biggest challenge, at least for me personally, is some of the rejection I feel when I don't get a client, or some of the discouragement I feel when I don't get a client. Those things really can weigh on me pretty heavy, because I've always been a people pleaser. I've always wanted people to like me. It's just part of my personality. And so, heaven knows why I got into sales. But some of those things can be a really big challenge for me personally. It's not so much the business aspect. I've been involved with various businesses throughout my 20 some years working, and really the biggest challenge is getting over those hurdles of disappointment.
Yeah.
Or those hurdles of yeah. So that's been, I just say, you know what? They'll become clients down the road. And then I get back up and I start developing other leads and I start talking with other people. And that's what kind of pulls me out of it, is I just get back up and I push ahead. And that's what you have to do with any business, especially when you're in sales like we are, because that's really what it is. We're selling service to doctors, and you just got to keep pushing forward. And so that's what I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Like anything else in life, if you fall, you trip, you stumble, you get back up and you keep moving forwards. If you lay down and, you're dead, so you got to keep moving forward. And I think in any business, anytime somebody's trying to build and grow a business, they're going to have rejections. No's happen. Not everybody is going to say yes to you, but as long as you take that positive outlook that there's something over the horizon for me, and to keep knowing that there are so many doctors that are out there, and the fact that we can work at ClaimTek with every medical specialty and dental office in the industry. That gives you a lot of encouragement to know that there's another one over that next hump. Just keep walking, just keep your eye on the goal, focus on where you're, heading to. Try not to let too many of those, things get you down for too long. It's only natural, humanistic that, you get rejected. They're not interested in something, that you're going to have a little bit of that feeling of, oh man, again, did this happen? What could I have done differently next time? And you just learn from it and you move forward with it, knowing that no is going to be one step closer to the yes that you're going to get, over the horizon there. So very good. So, if you could rewind the clock, just, so people, that are listening and looking into this business, if you could rewind the clock and make this decision again, would you choose ClaimTek? Would you choose the medical billing industry? And do you think you made a good decision?
Well, the answer is yes to all of those. We've enjoyed working with ClaimTek. I know that the support has been great, and all of the help and the feedback and the resources have really helped us become a success in our early stages, and will continue to help us become a success down the road. Just last week, the past couple of weeks have been really slow. I haven't heard anything. Last week, I told my wife this week will be the week of leads. And so far, we've had 3 good solid leads this week, and that we're following up on, and that we are working hard to close. And we would choose ClaimTek again based on, everything we learned from the beginning when we did our research. The flexibility, the support, the scalability, all of those things have been terrific. And yes, we definitely choose ClaimTek again. We wouldn't do anything different except for go with the director's package. So we would.
There you go. Yeah, I know that you had mentioned that.
Package up, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's good to hear. I know that you had just, we were just talking a little bit before we started the interview about, having a client, that was looking for credentialing, but you just didn't have that yet. But the opportunity for the billing is right there with them. So, we'll get that going for you. We'll help you out. We'll get them, credentialed, so that way you can take on that billing and help them grow. Appreciate that. So just for everybody listening, Rob did go with the preferred program. So that's the package that he did start with, though mentioning that he might wanted to, start with the director program. What's your favorite thing about running your business so far?
Oh man, there's, I love building things. And so, I love being in charge of my own schedule. I love those aspects. The other day, I was able to, go and take a break in the middle of the day, and I didn't have to worry about being back in 30 minutes. And so that's, tomorrow I'm taking tomorrow off, and my wife and I are going out. And so I love that aspect, but I really love building things, and I love business. I like the different aspects of business, and so I love the challenge. Even though we go hit those valleys, I love the mountaintop experiences. But the valleys, they make you stronger. They make you better, and so I like all aspects really. But meeting with doctors, it's in the beginning, you could get really nervous about it because they're doctors, and if you haven't interacted with doctors very much, you might be a little nervous. But you just gotta, start with hello. I'm Rob with MedBillingRX, and it gets easier as you go. It's not always so scary. It's not always as you continue, you become more confident, you become more natural at what you're doing, and you just got to get through those awkward moments. But you just keep pushing forward, and I love all aspects of that. I think it helps me grow as an individual, and so I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Building and growing upon yourself, like you said, some of those valleys, they make you stronger. And like you said too, practice makes perfect. Nobody's a guru at something that they just start out with. You got to practice. And the more you do that, the better you get at it. And that's one of the things I love about, kind of the training doesn't stop with ClaimTek after you're certified, because there's more to learn, at each stage. And the better you get, the more clients that you have, the bigger you begin to grow. There's going to be another stage of learning, down the road. And the fact that, we keep working with you, consulting and coaching to make sure that you're prepared for each stage of that business development, as it takes place, is one of the things that, makes me really passionate about wanting to help our business owners, knowing that we have that vested interest in their success. And so, to kind of give your peace of mind and feedback, what do you think other people should know that might be looking into the business of ClaimTek and, trying to make a decision if this is going to be right for them? Do you have any words of wisdom for
them? Well, words of wisdom. Don't doubt yourself. I would tell people, don't doubt yourself. Fear is the biggest thing that keeps people from really pursuing their dreams. And there's going to be a natural fear that they have doing something new. But if they want that freedom, if they want to be in control of where they go in life, then I would suggest that they pull the trigger, buy one of the 3 packages that ClaimTek has to offer, because they're all great. They're all going to give you the tools you need to get going and build your business. But they're not going to find better support. They're not going to find better resources than what ClaimTek has to offer. And the biggest hurdle, I think, for most people is their fear about getting into something. But like you said, we didn't have any medical billing experience, and so you can believe that there was some fear there. There were some questions. Many times at night, I asked my wife, "Are we making the right decision?" And she reassured me, and we talked about future growth and talked about clients, and we sat there and we dreamed about building this business, this medical billing business. And here we are, and we're doing it now with no experience. Yeah. And so a lot of that is because of the tools that ClaimTek has provided. We naturally bring some of our own talents into the equation, but a big portion of it has been ClaimTek's resources and support. So for those that are watching this that aren't ClaimTek licensees yet, I would encourage them to go ahead and pull the trigger, because ClaimTek is going to be there for them, and they will succeed.
Hey, well, I appreciate that. I know all the people out there that might be watching this video certainly appreciate, that candor and honest feedback that you've given them today. And I certainly, am happy that you decided to join us. I think we just have great things ahead for you. I know that we have great things ahead for ClaimTek. We're working on our newest software version that we're going to be, coming out with here in the next few months. Just adding more features, bells and whistles, personal requests that our business owners have asked us for, as they're out building the business. We want to listen to people. We want to get that feedback so that way we can always, make improvements and provide the best to our licensees, because the more we can help you, the more you can help yourself, the doctors, the patients. It really becomes a win-win-win around the board for all of us. Right. And so I appreciate you taking the time today, Rob, to talk to us, to share your story and your feedback. I'm sure a lot of other people are going to appreciate this as well. And you folks out there in internet land, if you have questions, you have concerns, let us know. Talk to us about it. We'll be more than happy to help you and help you understand the ins and outs of the business and what it takes to become successful, just like Rob has told you a little bit about today. So Rob again is with MedBillingRX, your practice prescription. And you'll be able to find their information on medbillingrx.health. Is that correct, Rob?
That is.
Excellent.
Yes, the site is currently getting updated, and so, but yes, our information is there.
Fantastic. Yeah, because you decided to move in a little bit of a different direction with your business name. You've had some good experience, but I think you found a great niche with that name, and he's got some great little marketing ideas that he's been working on, and we're excited to see how those are going to unfold. And I'm sure we'll be talking to Rob again to give you guys an update on how the next couple months go for him. So thanks again, Rob. We greatly appreciate your time, and so happy to have you as part of the ClaimTek family.
Thanks, Brian. I appreciate it.
Hey, absolutely. You have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.